Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars, and welcome to a tutorial video for Stellaris, the console edition. A very basic tutorial to get a complete beginner started on this game. Now the first piece of advice to you is don't worry initially about creating your own empire, randomizing an empire. Just to choose one from the created ones already, and I've chosen the human one. All this kind of stuff, you can kind of choose what you want to do, but if it's your first time playing this game, try and make it as simple as you can, i.e. make certain things like the AI aggressiveness low initially in the game. The rest of it you could just play about with, but I would certainly not have the difficulty on anything above normal for the first playthrough. Little tip here, if you want the trophies to be on, you need it on Iron Man mode, which basically means you can't manually save it, but you can exit the game and save it, and it does auto save, so it doesn't really affect the game that much. So like I said, I've chosen the humans initially, so we'll be starting in the Sol system, and this is just a very basic guide to get you started and set up. Now the game does have a pretty decent tutorial in it, but it's not a needle to thread tutorial. So if you follow the tutorial when you play it and watch this video as well, which will give you some other basic tips, then you should be okay to get started. But this is a very quite complex grand strategy game, so you do need a bit of patience with this game, and it is quite complicated. So this is like the tutorial robot that talks you through certain sections of the game, but I'll be skipping over that because I'm going to be doing the talking. So this is the view you've got initially. This is the Sol system. You'll recognise all the planets in there: Earth, Mars, Jupiter, all that kind of stuff. So this is the view from distance of you in your solar system.
You can toggle between ports.
Okay, now you can, my advice to you is if it all starts getting a bit confusing, just keep pausing the game. You can pause it by pressing the triangle button anytime you want. Click the right 3 button and it takes you out of your solar system and shows you how much of the galaxy you actually is your space to start with. If you click down on the D-pad, it's the here at the bottom here where you can it tells you, it gives you like alerts of things that you need to do, i.e. doing some research and things, but we won't do that right now. We'll probably come back to that because there's other more important things to get on with initially. If you click up on the D-pad, that takes you up to your resource panel where you've got energy credits, minerals, you have food, you have influence, which is the next one, that's influence, and you've got unity, and then all of these things at the top, you need to keep them growing. You need to keep them on the plus. You see they've got a plus sign next to it. You always need to keep them growing because all of them are important. You've got your research stuff going on that allows you to research new technologies. You always need to keep these on with a plus sign next to them. If they start going into minus, you're going to start getting into trouble fairly quickly with this game. So that's your resource panels at the top. Now if you click left on the D-pad, this takes you to this side of the panel. Okay, now the first one is all about your government. So you've got your government, you've got your budget, and you've got your demographics. You don't need to worry too much about this early parts of the game. I'm just showing it you basically. Contacts. This is when you meet alien life forms for the first time. Any ones that you meet, it'll show you in this panel, and what situation you have between them. Is it peaceful, etc. Your situation log is basically all the missions that you are given to complete. If you're doing the tutorial thing, it'll give you little missions to complete, which will help you learn the game. So that always keep popping back to your situation log, especially if you're doing the tutorial, which I highly recommend you do. This is like your research stuff. It shows you excuse me, what you're currently researching in technologies.
The planets and sectors tab.
So this is like all the planets that you've discovered and their viability in regards to can they be lived on, etc. Traditions. You get to choose these as you go through, as you gain more influence, etc.
The leaders tab.
Leaders. Again, you don't need to worry too much about this early on. You kind of recruit new leaders as you expand the fleet and your influence. Ship designer, you don't need to worry too much about this one either early on. War, that speaks for itself if you go to war with another species. So that's kind of the 4 directions you've got, and then you do have your tutorial is basically telling you that you need to survey the system. So you click right on your D-pad and it takes you down to this part here.
Military fleets are used to protect.
So this is your military fleets at the minute, and I'll zoom in. You can have a look at the military fleets here, where you can zoom in, and it is really quite detailed when you go in close. So that's my current military might. 3 like military ships, which isn't nothing special. You have a construction ship to start with, which you will be using to build mining stations and research stations and things, and that's your construction ship. Very important. The science ship is, I think of your science ship as like the USS Enterprise. It surveys, flies around systems and surveys them so that you can explore new solar systems, etc. So that's your science ship that you start with. Now, depending on what race you choose, there will be different designs depending on the race that you choose. And then you've got your fleet and Earth. You click on that, and that takes you to like your Earth panel. And you've got a spaceport. You've got the surface of the Earth, and like the governance and stuff. So the surface section of the Earth, this is where you can expand and build on there. You can build mining stations, power stations, all this kind of stuff in it, and it all increases the resource tab right at the top that I showed you earlier. And the armies, again, you don't need to worry too much about this early days, and your defences, you don't need to worry too much about that early stage of the game. This is very, very early start stuff at the game. Unless you're going to go to war immediately with the first species that you find, which wouldn't be advisable. My advice would be to build up your resources. So you click on your science ship with the right on the D-pad, and then to survey a system you go to the sun or the star right in the middle of it, and you click survey system.
To overcome the vast distances that separate star systems,
so you can see its flight pattern there. See it? It's moving. That is going to survey the solar system, and it will let you know anything that it discovers, whether that be resources, minerals, anomalies. It might find something quite interesting that you need to research further. But your main aim, the first 2 or 3 hours of playing this game, is to increase your influence and your resources. but you need to do everything slowly. The mistake I made when I first played this game, when I first put it on, is I expanded too quickly, so I ran out of resources far quicker than I anticipated. If you look on the resources panel at the top, especially the energy credits, they were running out. I was losing influence, so I couldn't colonize any other planets, so I basically had to start again. And my advice to you is, guys, is to do it slowly. Expand slowly. Each solar system, make sure it's fully surveyed first, then take all of the resources out of that solar system before you move on to the next. Do everything you can and build up your influence and your resources, and keep upgrading your technologies. So let's have a look at technologies now. So we've got physics. This is physics first, so you could choose whichever you want to choose. It doesn't really matter. Early doors.
As an astute observer may already have noticed, habitable planets are divided.
Some are more important than others, but it's completely up to you. Each of them will be helpful. Just be careful that you don't keep choosing them that are going to eat up too many of your resources early on to research and build, etc. So just keep an eye on those. So we've got another one here. I'm not too interested in military might early on in my game, so I don't often go for like the military stuff early on in a game, because I'm more interested in expanding and discovery, and I'm not intending on going to war with an alien race unless they are violent towards me. So I'm going to show you now what you do with your construction ship. As you can see there, you got a little diamond over that resource there. Choose your construction ship with the right D-pad on the D-pad. Oh, no, that's not right. Let me just zoom in. It's not the planet, it's that little one there. It's not the big planet. So click on that. Click on build mining station. That will cost 90 resources of the diamond one. Minerals, I mean. There you go. And your construction ship will now be on the move over there. And once that mining station, that's your science ship scanning there. Once that mining station is built over there, that will increase your minerals. As you can see now, it will get an extra 2 added onto that, so it will increase even faster then. And that is the key to the early part of this game. Increase all your resources as much as possible before you expand, and do it slowly. If you want to speed up, keep your finger on the triangle to take it to the 3rd arrow. You can have it obviously on speed number 1, number 2 or number 3, or pause it completely, which I would recommend to anybody. If it's all getting a bit confusing, it's running away with you, just click pause and figure out where you are, where all your ships are and things. But if you do get lost, just click the pause button and then look on the right panel. Click right on your D-pad, go to your planets, your fleet, your civilian ships. Look where they all are, because you can get lost in this game fairly easily if you don't take your time with it. So you see over there, oh, we have found an anomaly. Now, when it's scanning planets, it might find anomalies, the science ship. So the thing to be sure of here is look at the risk. Now you see that the science officer's got a 1 star next to his name. Well, the anomaly level is 1, so there's no risk to research this. So I just click research. Some of them you're not skilled enough to research on that, so you leave them ones alone until you are skilled enough. So there, we've got some more resources there. That's energy credits. So send the construction ship over there to milk those resources. is just mopping up all the resources here. This game is so relaxing to play. I really do enjoy it. If you are not a patient gamer, this isn't a game for you. But if you like resource management games, like building and management games like that, this really is quite a special game. And you can lose yourself in this game really easily. You can be playing 4 or 5 hours and not realise. You'll get these popping up occasionally. It just gives you information. Just give them a read and then move on. And remember to keep checking where everything is. You can keep checking your situation log, which is left on the D-pad, the buttons down the left there. We have another anomaly. Again, you can research that one because it's a level 1 anomaly and you are level 1, so there's no risk to not research it, so you might as well. And as soon as a science vessel has finished researching there, it will continue on with the surveying of the system. We've got mining station there. That's another 2 minerals added on when that's built. So we're doing quite well here. We're getting some good resources from the Sol system. So you get another pop-up here giving you some more information. It gives you lots of hints and tips about alien races and things, and it's not actually too long until you start running into these new alien races. We probably won't run into them on this first tutorial, but it's basically up to you what you do when you do come across alien races. You can be aggressive immediately if you want. I don't recommend it, but you can. Or you can ask to trade with them, try and get on good terms with them, swap technologies, all that kind of stuff. It gives you lots of different options. So, situation log. Planetary buildings. So, what this basically means is if you click right on the D-pad and go down to Earth, and then go to Surface by clicking the left 1 button. See these tiles here? Yeah. You find an empty one, basically, and there's one right up on the top right, if we can see there. Click build and then decide what you want to build. My advice would probably be the power plant, because that generates energy credits. Okay, and that is in the queue to be built on the planet. Now you only have a limited supply of these tiles on planet, so which is why the game encourages fairly early on to colonize other planets in other solar systems, which we won't cover probably in this tutorial, because
System survey complete.
we're just focusing on resource management early on. So all your scientists, people like that, they level up automatically.
We may want to consider building a second science ship.
So like I said, the situation log will keep giving you hints and tips. You don't have to follow them all immediately. Take your time. This is a game not to be rushed. There's no right and wrong answer to a lot of these things. It's just your personal preference. When you're given an option, choose what you want to do. Same with the technologies that you want to research. You're given an option, you choose what you want to research, and that will be dependent on what kind of species you want to be in space, whether you want to be aggressive or peaceful. Yeah, it will all be dependent on that. So once you've swept, once the solar system has been completely dried up of resources, this circle here, that's the breadth of your influence in space. That's the space that you own, basically. So anything beyond that, you don't own it yet. So this is in our space. So what you want to do is you click on your science ship and then survey that system. Remember to click on the star to survey that system, not the one of the planets, the star. And then the science ship will go over there, and then it will shoot off over there. There you go, to survey that system. Let's have a look. There it is, you see, that's your science ship. It's gone to a new solar system now. It's surveying this system. This is within your space. So they always go to the sun first in the system. Scan it. And scan all the other planets in the system. And you'll get resources once again to keep building upon the resources that you have. So you can see that the situation log is filling up now. Gives you things to do. Your tile blockers. That was on the Earth tab onto the surface. Tile blockers are these ones with the yellow things around the outside. They're not in use, so you have to clear them to use them. So they block them tiles. So you have to use resources to clear them. And again, you could choose what you want to clear. I'm just moving them about because that one that I cleared earlier, or built the power plant on, is not in use at the minute. So I want it to be in use. So I think we'll clear this one. Yeah, there we go. So while I've been doing that, you can see it's found some resources. So you find your construction ship on clicking on the right on the D-pad. That's just another pop-up. Zoom in, and we've got, yeah, it's the planet. So there we go. We build a mining station there. So we've got some couple of decent resources going on here in this system.
Yet another impediment to our galactic ambitions has been dealt with. That tiled system survey complete. Anomaly found.
We have another anomaly. We're going to be okay to research this one. As you can see, it's level 1 and we are now level 2, so it's well within our abilities to research that. Now some anomalies will give you hints on new species that could be discovered, new technologies, all that kind of stuff. There you go, that's a construction ship. It's entered this system now. It's going to start building where we asked it to. So now we've got another pop-up.
Surveyed worlds sometimes possess unique.
Just noticed there from moving that guy earlier from the food bit, my food went into negative equity, if you like, so I've just swapped things around. It's so important, if you see any of those at the top resource tiles, if they start seeing a minus on any of them, then you need to deal with that quickly.
Research complete.
Right, so you can choose a tradition. Now this will depend on when you get enough influence to do it. This can depend on what kind of race you want to be. Are you going to be aggressive? Are you going to be harmonic? Are you going to be a discovery or whatever? However you want to be, you could choose the traditions that you want to follow. I'm trying to match my society a little bit on like Starfleet from Star Trek, so I'm going down the discovery route and harmonious and diplomatic routes. There we go, another mining station going there, and I think we're going to be able to build a research station shortly. So you can see that one there, that's research there. Let's have a look in this system. We'll survey that one now. Send the science ship over there. We've got everything we need from that system now.
Research complete. Construction complete.
Okay, choose some new research.
Research complete.
I'll go with that one, I think. Oh, I think the starport level 2 is the best option here. That means I'll be able to upgrade my starport in time, very shortly. So we shall build a research station now. I think the construction ship is idle, so we should be able to. Yeah, so we shall choose the construction ship. Click on this and research station. So that will increase our research. Now you may be wondering how. Oh, we've got some good resources here already. How we get our space to increase, because at the minute we've only got access to a couple of solar systems that are in our space. So how do we expand that? Well, I'll show you that shortly. Because some good resources going on in there as well. So we're doing alright here. You can see on the top panel, the resources panel, everything's looking pretty healthy. We're growing at a steady pace. We're not doing bad at all here. The construction ship's almost finished the research station. Our scientists are leveling up. It's all looking pretty healthy at the minute early on.
I can't help but notice that our navy is a bit on the weak side.
I see early on in the game you don't need to worry too much about your military might and all this kind of stuff, unless that is what you want to focus on. But you need money, so it makes sense to grow. Now you can see there it won't let me build a mining station. It lets you survey systems outside your space, but you cannot build there because it's not in your space. See? Won't let you build or do anything. There's a reason for that, because it's not in my space. It's just outside it. So what we have to do is you click on the sun with your construction ship. Click on the it can only be the sun, and you build the outpost. It's quite expensive, but you need it. That will expand your space. Makes that circle bigger, makes your space bigger. So once you've built that, it will be slightly bigger, your space, and it will open up another couple of systems for you to explore. There you go. Remember, you can only build an outpost on a star. Now if a star is also holding resources and you build a mining station, you won't be able to build an outpost. So don't be too hasty to build mining stations on suns, next to suns, or the main star of the system. So once again, it's telling us we can choose another tradition. I'm going down the discovery route to increase these stats. They all come with different benefits, and I'll leave you to decide which ones you want to choose, which traditions you want to choose. They all come with the different benefits. Okay, so once that outpost is built, it will expand our space ever so slightly. Increase the fleet, it's reminding us to do. So it's telling you to build some more corvettes, which is like your military ships. So we'll do that. So you click on your Earth tab, you go to your spaceport. So you've got planet surface, spaceport, there's your corvettes right there. Just click on there to build a new corvette. That will increase your military might slightly. I think it told you in the tutorial thing to build 5 of them. Well, I'm just going to build 2 for now, because like I say, you increase too quickly and you'll start losing money. So you do need to keep your eye on your situation log if you're doing the tutorial bit, which I do, like I've said, I strongly recommend you do. Keeps you on track, it gives you goals to aim for, and you learn as you go. It's how I learned. It's also telling us to build a new science ship, so I've put one of those in the queue in the spaceport as well.
Construction complete.
There you go. Do you see that? The outpost is built, and you saw there the space increase. Let's recruit a new leader for our science ship. Again, they come with different traits.
Science ships means double. We have a brand new science ship.
Oh, that is for the the military stuff. You could choose what traits you want them to have, if you want them to be aggressive or cautious, whatever. So you can see our space has increased now. We've got another couple of systems in our... Because it's grown now, we can now build a mining station here. So find your construction ship. See? And we can now build here. Because our space has increased, and this is now within our space. Belongs to us. We have claimed it. So we can mine this whole system now. And that's how you grow your system. Very simple, really. Send the science ship to survey this new system as well that's come within our space. And that's how big the galaxy is. Pretty damn big. All them dots are systems. It's going to take you a while to complete this game, without any doubt.
We have the ability to manually design new ships in the ship designer screen.
Yeah, we're not worried about the ship designer too much now. You can get used to that by yourself. It's not difficult to figure that one out. To be honest, I don't really bother too much with the ship designer, certainly early on.
Research complete.
So as you can see, all the resources at the top, they're in a healthy position. Everything's a plus next to it. We're in a good position to continue to grow. You keep choosing your research.
Construction complete.
Again, you see the panel on the right hand side. It gives you like all the information you need to make a decision on what you're going to research next. And it just depends on the direction you want to go in. I'll go with the fusion power. We'll continue to mine this system for resources.
Stars neighbouring our home system have been fully explored. We should use our construction ship to collect any resources.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, Mr. Tutorial Robot. We've been doing that for a while. So yeah, that's it. What he's basically saying is make sure you sweep up all the resources in the systems that you've surveyed, which is what we've been doing.
To a second world. This will require the construction of a colony ship.
So what he's basically saying there is to expand your empire even more, you need to colonize a second planet, but you need to build a colony ship for that. Now what it means by that basically is there are some planets in the system click on that one. That's an Arctic world. So you can colonize that planet. It's an Arctic world and it's livable. It's got them tiles on it. Yeah. so you need to build a colony ship and then send that colony ship to a planet that can be lived on. Some of them can't be lived on. This one is another one, it can be. This is a, what is it, a, it's like a tropical planet, something like that. But either way, you can live on this one, it's perfectly possible. But there are some in the system that you go to, and this one, for example, isn't. It's a toxic world. You can't live on that one. However, you will get to the point in the game where you can research technology to even live on in planets that are I can't even say the word. You can basically terraform planets so that they can be lived on. There you go. So that in this small section here that I have carved out into human space, there's a few planets that can be colonized. So this is what I mean by do not grow too fast, because you'll lose all your resources quickly. So there you go, guys. That is the basics of Stellaris. If you stick to that, keep growing, you will make the improvements. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found it useful.